snuggly, thoroughly enjoying the warmth from each other fall before it gets too dark. I'm really intrigued to see where they are going to go, because of course they know the buffalo are on the property. They've encountered them already. So although they're being very lazy and snuggly, thoroughly enjoying the warmth from each other, because it has actually been quite some time since we've had, oh no, I think Steve had them last week, so they've been around quite regularly. You tell me, what should I do? Should I stay or should I go? Help me make this decision. Stay. Sean and Susan, everybody said stay. Okay, that's what I was thinking, but I didn't want to. Okay, Faith is saying that I should stay just in case people wanted me to bumble. But I genuinely think they are going to stir, and I'd like to just follow them and see exactly where they go. I mean, they might surprise us and go in a direction that we think they're not going to go. But of course, they might be predictable and go exactly for the buffalo. Wildlife, you've just got to wait it out. It's a game of patience. You've got to be very... I'm really genuinely not sure. And sometimes... Christine is saying stay for a bit and then I can bumble. Okay, stay for very patient and just see exactly what the animal is going to do. For a bit. Although I really do feel they are going to move shortly. I'm genuinely not saying that. They've all sort of, once one wakes up, they all do. It's incredible. It's like a domino effect. And they are all starting to rise. They're yawning a lot. Once one yawns, it's very contagious in lions. They all start to yawn. I really do feel they will move soon. But okay, I'll stay for a bit. And then if they really, really don't get up, I will, of course, bumble onwards and see what else we can. Stephen's asking, have I seen, which was quite a sight. It was actually the Awino Pride up in the Masai Mara, who it's believed eat lions and giraffes in other climates. Was that right? I think so. Yes, I have. I have, of course, up in the Mara, and I've actually seen lions feeding on a dead giraffe, which was... Game drive video. I'm just going to turn it down. So yes, I have seen giraffes and lions up in the Mara on it and very much made it their own. Sorry, that was my... There's giraffes everywhere. You can see them from the flight when you're coming in on that little domestic flight. You can just see the whole landscape littered with these tall, what you think is a tree, and then you look closer and it is, of course, a giraffe. Now, a giraffe is a huge animal, we all know that. Very, very big task for lions to take down, but they have been known to bring down a giraffe if they work cooperatively, and it isn't easy. And of course, actually bring down the giraffe, but of course they came across the giraffe and they were feeding up. It's very cute. They lie down on the ground and they sort of rest their heads on their own bum. If you young giraffes are an absolute target, but a full... well, let's just say males, because the bulls are bigger. A full male giraffe would be quite a task. And that's why giraffes generally don't tend to sort of stay down on the ground for too long. Once they do nap, they can actually sort of curl up like in a little ball. And it leaves them very vulnerable, of course, to any predators that would come, because they know the risks involved if they get into a position where they're not able to stand up quickly. By. So they tend to take little bouts of sleep that really don't last that long, and then they... Oh, that is rather adorable. Licking them. It keeps them clean. So obviously they're using their own saliva to help keep wounds clean, but it doesn't necessarily heal them. So by keeping a wound clean, Joy's asking, do lions heal their wounds by... And it looks like it feels pretty good as well. Do get back up again. Some giraffes have even been seen to sleep standing up, because they know the risks involved if they get into a position where they're not able to stand up quickly. Oh, that is rather adorable. licking them. It keeps them clean. So obviously they're using their own saliva to help keep wounds clean, but it doesn't necessarily heal them. So by keeping a wound clean, Joy's asking, do lions heal their wounds by... And it looks like it feels pretty good as well. Yes, that does help and promote healing, but what they're doing here is just... I don't know what that one was doing. They literally are just grooming. Maybe it was biting something off the other one's chin there. Oh, he's like, it's my turn now. Of course, they do it. They all cooperate and they do allo-groom one another. And licking themselves clean here. But if there was a wound, of course, licking would keep it clean, but not necessarily contribute to the actual healing. I'm not sure what that one was doing by biting. It's very, very cute. And of course, they allo suckle as well. So within a pride, they do share a lot. There's a lot of tenderness there. They groom one another. They all groom the cubs, and they can all suckle the cubs. So it's a very, very tight, formidable unit, a group of lionesses. Who's asking, do I know any animal that can take down a lion quite rapidly? But lions are incredibly resistant to wounds. We see many lions with wounds that do heal. What a tricky question. Lions have been injured from many animals, from an ostrich target lion cubs. Now that's natural within the sort of realm of predators. They do all target one another. Kick to the face, to all sorts of different things. Of course, other predators will target others' cubs. I've heard of lions being quite seriously injured by hyenas as well. So one hyena couldn't do much damage, but a lone lioness surrounded by a very large group of hyenas, is obviously at a serious disadvantage. So I've read, of course, other lions. I really think genuinely the biggest threat but it is a game of numbers. So of course there's a large pride here with a male involved. That hyenas can really injure and even kill a lone lioness. And of course, lion is another lion, especially male lions. When there's a pride takeover, the male lions are said to go through a very sharp increase in testosterone level. It does actually stand up to that lion and tries to protect her cubs or protect her rivals, and it makes them almost uncontrollably angry. So if a lioness, a really tricky thing for a pride to go through, takeovers by a new coalition. So I honestly, or another individual, the male lions have been known to kill that lioness. So takeovers can be very, very aggressive. They can also be smooth, don't get me wrong, but it's a really... Mara that time with the Olololo pride and Pat was something very, very unique. The Kichwaneses, they were fighting among themselves, and one pride was really, really injuring. I believe, Nina Moo, the biggest threat to a lion is other lions. And what we witnessed up in the males just did not intervene. They just kind of stood there, and the battle really was between the lion. But good questions. I've actually seen lionesses with injuries from warthogs as well. So the warthog attack the lionesses. Lionesses can be very aggressive to one another as well, and really harming a lioness from the other pride. So it's not just male lions who hasn't quite brought the lion down, but of course it can injure them. So at your request, I will of course stay here a little while longer with my sleepy and kahumas. But for now, over to Trishala.
At here, and one of the guys just said, is that a leopard? Is that a leopard walking on the road? So now she's actually moved off here into Little Gowrie. So we're gonna see. We were just having a normal main road chat here, and one of the guys just said, is that a leopard? Is that a leopard walking on the road? So now she's actually moved off here into Little Gowrie. So we're gonna see if we actually can see her. Oh, there you go. Got her? Obviously, this is a very bad view, so we can't really tell at all. Not very, very big. Who it is? Off. Isn't this nice? Have some leopards on drive. But it looks it's look at our walk. Oh, we got to catch some great leopard action and bumble about just a bit. Now, unfortunately, as you know, now most of our sightings have been a little fleeting today. But hey, does it even matter? No, we can't traverse in that area, and makes me feel sad when I see all the other vehicles that just just go in, and yeah, I am watching from the main road. So there we go, and let's try to find. Let's reverse out of here. And find them, which would be awesome. Some elephant that were close by, but it seems that they have moved. Well, whoever that was in their private vehicle is very lucky to be driving past here at that into Torchwood area. So we'll go around the main road and see if we can. Katie, you'd like to know if I'd say we are currently in drought. To be very, very honest, Katie, I would not say that. There's still quite a bit of have been a lot worse. So I am not. I'm not really saying water available. There's still a lot of greenery around, and I know things like conditions, which is an expression used often. But if it were a drought, we are in a full-blown drought now. It is dry, definitely. It's very much drought. Lots of people would just say drought instead of drought-like conditions. And yeah, as far as I'm concerned, I think that it's still pretty. A strong smell of potato bush. And yes, it smells exactly like potatoes. Let's pop in here. It's still pretty, not wet, but it could definitely be drier. Oh, there's a KP. Let's go up here. Where did you tuck down to? There you are. Firebrain. KB, you'd like to know if we see many snakes here? I myself have seen very few compared to what I expected, to be honest. Oh, hello! Kingfishy? I feel like there's been one that's hanging. Look at that. Oh. Brown-headed kingfisher? Are you going to catch something for us? Strangely, it's around here that we've been catching quite a few times. Let's see. Really hard. Just for him. Or for this animal. I've been trying to put one on camera for a long time. In fact, the one time I was with Darby and I stopped Terry, you'd like to know if there are any animals that become overpopulated? Definitely. There's a simple things like Egyptian goose. People often think they're invasive species, but they are not. Just because, or rather they are alien invasive when they are not. A lot of species that happens to. In the Kruger National Park, that seems to be the problem with elephants. But because their numbers have gotten so large and you see them everywhere in suburban areas, in the bush, all the time as we go along. Everywhere. People often think that, but those are some of the examples. I'll think of more. Much like humans. But you will find that animals seem to have a type of natural control over their. But yes, there is certainly some animals that can become overpopulated populations. It has a lot to do with things like disease, drought that we were speaking so much about, all those things matter. And it may seem like such a sad thing, and there's lots in this sort of system of really sad sort of occurrences that happen. But you must understand that it can be quite cruel. The big problem comes in when humans try to unique ability to our species. Very, very cool kingfisher. You add to that cruelty, which unfortunately seems to be there are many things that need to be balanced, and nature has a way of doing that. And sometimes the kingfisher, they are of course from the genus Halcyon, including this guy right here, also from the genus Halcyon. And there was a Greek woman, and she actually, I'm sure I've told you the story of, I can't remember what it was, but it was, she had a husband that had died. They are called Halcyon kingfishers, and Zeus converted him into some sort of seabird. So then Zeus converted her into a kingfisher, because her husband that had died had actually kingfisher, so that she may be able to be with him again. And then you've also maybe heard of Halcyon at sea, and so then Zeus turned her, and her name was Alcyone, which is why Alcyone days of calm, and those are also associated with the ancient, when Zeus was actually let them, when Zeus actually mentioned Greek character of Alcyone, because those days when Zeus was actually let them, when Zeus actually let them be together, he didn't have, or she didn't have time to have eggs and all that sort of things, because remember, she's a kingfisher now. And the tide would usually just come and scoop up her eggs and take them away every single time. So Zeus, feeling sorry for him and her, that's what this genus of kingfisher is called, Halcyon as well. So you can lay your eggs. And there we go, the story of Alcyone, and that's sitting very nice for us today. Yet again said it's okay, I'll make the seas a lot calmer during this time in February. Usually it's all over the place, but I believe it's probably in hunting mode. It's trying to get something nice to eat. This overcast weather has really put all the animals in sort of a stalk mode. When we first saw Tlalamba earlier, she just ran towards an impala that was way too far. Me am, you would like to know why these kingfishers migrate, or some kingfishers migrate and some don't, but north and then a little bit south. So every animal does sort of migrate, and you'll find that, well, they do, well, even these guys do move. Animals will move around, even if it's just local movements, because they are searching. You do obviously get sedentary animals that will just sort of stay in one place as well, but many within Africa, quite a bit, they go quite a little for the best resources, and drought is one of those mechanisms that actually help them to move on, to find a great or better area, their ultimate perfect environment. Animals are constantly chasing it, so that's why you get these great driver of migration and resources in general.